So let's meet the contestants. Contestant 1 for this battle. They call him Benji Z. He's an entrepreneur. He supports FC Barcelona globally and he likes Aimba. Also used to like stationery stores locally. On Twitter, he is at Benjiz double E. On Instagram, he is Benjiz World. Make welcome to a fine man, Benjamin Aimuemoje.
Thank you.
Did I massacre your surname?
You tried.
Correct me.
You're right.
Okay.
Aimuemoje.
Aimuemoje.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I will just stick to Benjamin for the rest of the night.
Better.
Excellent. Benjamin, by the way, lives in Dauda Street or Jaw in Lagos. He carries the hopes and aspirations of everybody who live in Ojo. His opponent, social media strategist, admin, and operations. Chelsea is his global team. Nada is his local team. He lives somewhere in Ikosiketu, and he carries the hopes and aspiration of Kosofe residents because he lives there. On Twitter, they call him Daniel Temidayo. That'll be interesting. Oh, he'll come back to that. I think it's at Temidayo Ogedengbe, if that is correct. On Instagram, I'm sure. We'll clarify Twitter with him in just a minute. Welcome to the guy everyone calls Dayo, whose full name is Temidayo Daniel Ogedengbe. Welcome, Temidayo.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, listeners. It's so good to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Are you okay if I just talk with Dayo?
Yes,
for the night?
Dayo is fine.
Excellent. Gentlemen, you know what you are here to do, so let's get to it. I would suppose Benjamin is the first battler. First and foremost, let us say thank you to our friends and partners at MasterCard. Before we go into your battle, they got a message for us and we want to hear it now. After which, battle. Here we come.
Yeah, talking about our friends at MasterCard, they are saying that shopping has never been more exciting. Now, every weekend from the 4th of June to the 10th of July, you stand a chance of winning a trip to watch a Champions League match live and other exciting prizes by paying with your MasterCard at major malls and selected Spar stores in Lagos. Now, this is where it gets interesting for those who are interested. Now, all you have to do to stand a chance is for you to follow these steps. Step 1, enroll at a MasterCard Experience stand on activation days. Step 2, scan the QR code for registration on your device. Step 3, go ahead to shop at any of the stores and pay with your MasterCard. Then step 4, return to the experience stand with your evidence of payment. Step 5, you scan the reward code and you could be the lucky winner of tickets to the next season of the Champions League. For more details on the participating malls and Spar outlets, visit mastercard.shopperspree.com. I'll take it again. Mastercard.shoppers is spelled SHOPPASPREE.com. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, MasterCard is saying that you should start something priceless.
Start something priceless. All right, guys. Thanks to our people at MasterCard. There is much to look forward to tonight, and you don't want to miss every one of it. We're hoping there will be further information from MasterCard as this contest progresses, a fan battle. We'll be sharing all of that with you. Thanks for joining us live on radio, all our friends and fans and family and all of that. Also, thank you very much for being a part of this show via the Nigeria Info that's the mobile app. Also our friends on social media. We're streaming live on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Nigeria Info 99.3. Okay? We are also streaming live on Twitter, on YouTube, by the way. The YouTube channel you can find on our Twitter handle embedded there. Our Twitter handle is at Nigeria Info FM. So let's get started. We've got a long battle ahead of us. We better get cracking. Benjamin, Dayo, are you guys ready?
Of course.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Here is the issue at hand. Romelu Lukaku looks set to leave Chelsea on loan and return to Inter Milan. Now, a lot was expected from the £97 million signing, but he, or maybe it, depending on whatever was responsible, ultimately didn't live up to the expectation. The question is, who gets more blame? Let's apportion the blame to humans and not abstract things. Is it Romelu Lukaku who gets more blame? Or is it the Chelsea manager, Thomas Tuchel, who should be blamed the more for Lukaku's failure to meet expectations at Chelsea this time out? We threw this into a random lottery bowl. Out came Lukaku for Benjamin, and out came Tuchel for Dayo. Remember, if you're listening to this battle, the positions these two fine gentlemen take on the night do not reflect their own personal opinion. They picked those positions not by choice, but by lot. So when you do get to vote, remember not to base your voting on which of the positions you prefer or agree with. Remember, it is about how impressed you are by either of these two men. Even if you do not agree with a position taken by one of them, but you are impressed by their performance, please vote for them because you were impressed by their performance. Thank you, our regular listeners who understand the rules. So many times we've heard people say, I agree with A, but I will vote for B because B impressed me, even though I don't agree with him. That is the spirit. So, are you guys ready?
Ready.
Lukaku, I'm setting. They just call you Lukaku. Benjamin, I'm setting your timer for 1 minute. That's the time you have to open your argument, which says, well, quite simply, Lukaku is more to blame for his lackluster performance for Chelsea this time out. The clock begins to tick now.
Very good. That is saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. Lukaku holds the record of having the record of two most expensive signing. He's number 2 and number 4 on the all-time signing on the Premier League table. Now, this was a guy that was involved in a match between Chelsea and Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. This guy was able only to touch the ball 7 times, including the kickoff touch. Now, tell me, a player of such a huge magnitude, we know his force, he was able to muscle his way back defenders, and now just touching the ball just 7 times. And even after the 7 times, and these 7 times, since they started taking records of data in matches now, he since 2003-2004 season.
All right, I need you to round up that point you are making. Since they started taking records, yes?
By Opta in 2003-2004 season. To me now, I wouldn't count it as Tuchel's fault. Definitely, Lukaku didn't lead up to expectation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for making your point. Your opening comments done. You would have opportunities to build on that as we go. Dayo, you heard Benjamin. It is primarily Lukaku's fault, he says. You feel it is primarily Tuchel's fault. You have 1 minute to explain why you are so certain. And it starts now.
Okay, so starting with your opening statement, saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. So let's take Tuchel as someone who was given much and he wasn't able to deliver in times of how Lukaku delivered goals. Now, looking at statistics here again, Lukaku was the highest, well, one of the highest, if not the highest, in Italian Serie A a few months before coming into Chelsea. Now, this guy scored fantastically well. In Serie A, he had more than 25 goals. In Belgium, he scored every time he plays for Belgium. Now, he got to Chelsea and he wasn't able to perform. Thankfully, he was able to come out to say, guys, I am not enjoying my football here. The coach is not using me the way I ought to be, the way I ought to be used. So what else do we need to confirm that it is Tuchel's fault? Now, don't forget, this problem is not only about Lukaku. Every strike force in Chelsea has this problem. There is no striker in Chelsea who is doing fantastically well. So there is a problem with Tuchel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your opening comments. Now, we'll give you the floor, gentlemen. You can expand on your positions in a head-to-head conversation. It is a conversation. Please remember, the audience need and deserve to hear you. If you shout over each other, well, it won't do you much good. Remember too, this battle could be your first and last in this contest, depending on what happens elsewhere in the other contests. So give it your go, but it helps if you let the other person talk. If it's not too rowdy, and there are still points to be made, I reserve the right and the liberty to add to your time. So make it a conversation. It can be hot, yep, but it has to be clear. So if you notice that you are shouting over each other's voices, I would appreciate if somebody played the more mature party and just hold on and let them make their point. And when the other person counters, please also let them make their point. Is that clear?
Okay.
Your 2 minutes commence right now.
First and foremost, Lukaku wasn't the highest goal scorer in the Serie A in his first season.
I said one of the highest.
Okay, one of the highest. Immobile. Okay, now in the match against Man City now at the Etihad now, Lukaku was giving the ball, he couldn't even comport himself.
Do you understand?
He couldn't even time his phone.
Do you understand when a coach is not using a player in the right position in the right way? Now, this Lukaku you are talking about,
okay, now,
he came to Chelsea first. He went back to Man U. He went back to Everton.
What was his record at Chelsea? He played 10 games. He couldn't even score 1 goal.
So we are saying that there's a problem.
The whole season, he didn't even have 1 assist. If a coach is not using the right your individual brilliance can bring out your best out of you. That's why the likes of Ronaldo,
Gentlemen, we would like to hear you. Okay. I would not repeat this.
Few months before coming to Chelsea, this guy scored about 24 goals in Serie A. In Belgium, he was banging in goals. In Champions League, even though they didn't go far, he was banging in goals. He came to Chelsea. I hope you know that Romelu Lukaku had just 8 Premiership goals in Chelsea. And now, it came out to say that the coach is not using him. What else do we need?
If the coach is not using you right, it's now left to you as a player now.
Do you know that?
And show your individual brilliance.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Is there any striker in Chelsea? Okay, let's break it down.
Okay, wait. In that match, I didn't perform anything now. Mason Mount came into that match after that time, and he played 12 games, and he had 8 goals.
Whenever Chelsea is playing, are you expecting Lukaku to score? Just answer the question. Whenever Chelsea is playing, at any match, at any game, at any competition, do you expect
Liverpool top man to score? And he has the right. He
expect him to score? He will not score because the coach is not using. He came out to say it. This guy is not using me the way I want. Anytime, and I prove to you that it is not only Lukaku that has this problem.
Look at there are many places. Okay, look at Mascherano now. He was a defensive midfielder. When he got to Barcelona, They started using as a back,
Look at
as a centre back, and he
Havertz.
did very
Look
well
at
in this thing
Pulisic.
now.
Look at Ziyech. None of these guys are doing fantastically well. It means that there's a problem with Tuchel, with the strike force. All the goals Chelsea scored last season, most of them are not from the strikers. I hope you know that. A Reece James will come in and score. A Rudiger will score. A Mount will score. A Jorginho will score. So what are we saying? There is a problem with the striking force of Chelsea.
No problem
and
with the striking force.
And
What
it
I know
banks
is
on
that
Tuchel to solve the
Romelu
problem.
Lukaku could
Please,
not even be
I
able to
hope
do
you
his
also
strike
know that coaches make and mar players. Ask of
This-
Rooney. Ask Rooney who is.
this coach you are
Ask
saying,
Rooney
this
who
coach
is
you
Sir
are saying
Alex
that is
Ferguson.
not.
Ask
that is not a
Eto'o who is
world-class
Frank
coach.
Rijkaard.
It's a coach that went to Chelsea, that went to PSG, that did very, very well.
Ask
have a record
Benzema
of
who is
even
Carlo
playing
Ancelotti.
Back-to-back Champions League with two different clubs.
I'm telling you, there is a problem with Chelsea's strike force, and it onus is on this coach,
As a
which
top
is Thomas
striker,
Tuchel.
as a top striker,
Tuchel is
you are
not
supposed to
doing
have that
something right
individual
in that strike
brilliance.
force.
If
And
a
Lukaku
coach is
came
not
out to
using
tell
your
us.
right way, then you bring out your individual brilliance.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for this robust debate. Now I will give you a minute each. Thank you. Thank you. I'll give you 1 minute each, both of you, to close your arguments. Again, if you're just joining us, we are hoping you are either listening over your radio or through the Nigeria Info mobile app, or you are watching the live stream of this programming on Facebook. Nigeria Info 99.3. That's our official Facebook page. We're also streaming it on YouTube, the Nigeria Info YouTube channel. Where can you find that video? Well, it's embedded on the Nigeria Info Twitter handle. That's at Nigeria Info FM. Just search for at Nigeria Info FM and you'll see it there embedded. And most importantly, you get to vote on Twitter. There's a poll you can vote on. The poll might be up now. If it's not, it will be up in moments. I guess it's up now. You can start to vote. If you haven't made up your mind yet to decide who to vote for, was it Benjamin who spoke first and who said it was Lukaku who had more of the blame, or Dayo who spoke second in the opening remarks and who said it was indeed Tuchel? Remember, don't vote based on whether you believe it should have been Tuchel or Lukaku. Vote based on how impressed you were by either Benjamin, who chose Lukaku as being at fault, or Dayo, who chose Tuchel as being at fault. Is that clear? We're coming to you in a while. Also, if you're listening at home, we expect that after this closing argument, we'll come straight to you for your votes. I believe our lines are fully operational now. We had some technical challenges last night. It's not there. On Facebook, please, on the live stream, look at the bottom below where the topic is written. Lukaku spell at Chelsea. Who gets more blame, Tuchel or Lukaku? Look below that to search for the names of Dayo or Temidayo and, of course, Benjamin, and vote for either men, depending on how impressed you were. So, closing argument, gentlemen. Benjamin, you go first. You have 1 minute to close your argument. It starts now.
This same set of players were players that this guy used in prosecuting the Champions League in his debut season and won for them. And this same man that you are castigating now is the same man that played at PSG. He played 2 Champions League finals with 2 different clubs, and he did really well. Now tell me, a player, a father sends his child to school, give him everything the child needs, yet the child refuses to perform. Are you going to put the blame on the father? Definitely no. In the words of a well-known coach of Man City, one of their greatest coach of all time, he said Thomas Tuchel is a coach that is very, very accurate in all ways. He said he's one of the coaches that he learned from and is excellent in all directions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your closing argument. Thank you for being a part of the battle today, as we see how Dayo will marshal his rebuttal. You have 1 minute, Dayo, and after which, well, all of this goes out of your hands, both of you, and it goes straight to the hands of the listeners at home, on social media, and of course, our able panel. Your 1 minute, Dayo, starts now.
So we started this conversation by saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. Thomas Tuchel definitely has a problem with the strike force of Chelsea. Lukaku came out. It would have been a different story if Lukaku had not spoken up to tell us that, guys, I am not being used in the position I want. Now, this is a guy that few months before coming into Chelsea, I still stand on the fact that few months before coming into Chelsea, he was one of the highest goal scorer in Serie A. He was doing fantastically well in Belgium. He came into Chelsea and was struggling. Now, he had a quarrel with Tuchel, and we saw the reaction. I saw a picture today where Tuchel substituted Lukaku, and I saw the look on Tuchel's face. If I was a player, that would have been a demoralizing situation for me. Now, Tuchel couldn't do well. We know Chelsea performed really well, relatively well last season or the season before, but look at the goals. My argument is based on the goals scored by the team. Who are scoring these goals? Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. You've given a good account of yourselves. It's now up to the judges to determine who excelled on the night and who fell short. You can be a part of this show by contributing. Watch the live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. Our Facebook page is Nigeria Info 99.3, and our YouTube channel you'll find on our Nigeria Info Twitter handle. That's at Nigeria Info FM. Please get ready to vote. There is a poll on Twitter to vote on. And by now, if you haven't voted, you probably should right away on Facebook at the bottom, just below the chyron of the image, our live stream on Facebook. First up, though, we will go to the phone lines. 7 individuals, a maximum of 7. It may not be 7. Whichever one of these two gentlemen, Benjamin and Dayo, gets 4 votes, wins 20% of the votes accredited to the callers at home. Once that is decided, we'll come to the panel here, Sarafina, Alex, and Sam, each of them with 20% of the votes for a total of 60 panel votes. Add that to the 20 from the phone lines, 80% of the votes. The final 20% is split 10-10 between Facebook and Twitter. We could have a draw. We could have a landslide. We could have a close-knit contest. Which will it be? The phone lines are 0700 993 993 993. 0700 993 993 993. Our ladies only line. Ladies only. Do not call if you're not a lady. 01 465 7190. Again, 01 465 7190. Are you ready to go? Let's see who our first voter will be on the night. I know we will get home, but not now. Who do we have, Sarafina? Hi there, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm voting for. Both of them did fantastically well and really tough to pick somebody, but I think I'll go with Dayo.
Dayo. Okay.
Yeah.
Who argued for Tuchel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us your name?
Sharon.
Okay, Sharon. Where are you calling from, Sharon?
Ikorodu.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon. We appreciate your vote.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, so Dayo gets the first vote. Interesting. He leads by 1. Next voter, please. We've lost that. Let's see who else we've got on the line. Hello, good evening to you. We've lost that too. Let's try again. Hi there. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine.
Let's meet you, if you don't mind.
This is Vincent from Lagos Island.
Okay, Vincent, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, you heard the debate between Benjamin and Dayo. Who impressed you the more?
Dayo.
Dayo impressed you. So Dayo gets your vote. Thank you very much. 2 votes down. Dayo, take both. Hello, how are you doing? Hello. You're not ready for us, I guess. Let's go somewhere else. And that too isn't working. A third location. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm fine. My name is Fetus.
Okay.
Yes, I want to speak in favor of the guy blaming the player.
That's Benjamin.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Lukaku, coming back to Chelsea, I think that should be his second spell. He was there under Jose Mourinho, and he was sent on loan. I think it is his fault.
Okay, it is that's your opinion. You agree with Benjamin,
yes.
but were you impressed by Benjamin?
Yes, I was.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right, 2-1. Dayo in the lead. Hi there. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Femi.
You found Nigeria Info.
This is Rita from Baduri.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
How would you like to vote?
Yes, I vote for Dayo.
You vote Dayo.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much, Rita. Dayo leads by 3 votes to 1. One more vote, and he goes over the threshold. Hi there.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, please. Talk to me. Let's meet you if you don't mind.
I vote for Dayo.
You vote for Dayo.
Yes.
Okay. You want to give us your name, or you would rather not?
My name is
Your name is what?
Dotun
Okay. From where?
Ikorodu.
From Ikorodu. Thank you very much. Appreciate your vote.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And so it is done. Dayo will take all 20 marks, 20 percentage points from our callers. 4-1, he wins this one. The remaining 2 votes will be inconsequential. No need. So let's come to the panel. Lady, gentlemen, you listen attentively. Where does this swing for you? Benjamin or Dayo? Who would like to go first on the panel?
The professor should go first, Sam.
We got a professor here?
Yeah, you
The
are.
professor. You're wearing Bimbo Awoyele's big boots. Good luck with that.
All right. First off, well done to you guys. Even though it's always synonymous with me to say this, even though I thought a lot could be done for one who doesn't necessarily win arguments, like you say, Femi. But again.
But who has sense?
Yeah.
Does he?
Thank you, Femi. You flatter me. But back to the conversation. I'm going to start off with Benjamin. You said Lukaku is to blame for the woes at Chelsea. I thought your intro was quite spot on with the quote you said about much being given, much being expected. It sort of fit into the conversation, and you also made mention about individual brilliance being needed in circumstances like this. So players got to be able to pull his own weight when the manager may not necessarily be favoring you in terms of selection and other thing. Your stats, which you put into the conversation too, was good. It's always good to list stuff like that with stats. Made mention of Mason Mount. Other players also stepping up when Lukaku didn't do much in games, especially the one where the Crystal Palace game with 7 touches. I thought that was also good, and your closing was a peach for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I thought you did well. Dial, Tuchel is to blame. It was quite unique to see you tackle your opponent's intro. I thought you had something prepared, but having to go at his own really was commendable. But what I also felt was that you failed to. You said you failed with saying every striker at Chelsea struggled. The conversation was on Tuchel, not every other striker and Romelu. So I thought that didn't quite fit into what you were trying
I think
to
he was
say.
trying to use it as evidence that the manager didn't didn't do much for his strike force. I think that was where he was trying to go.
But I thought you saying every striker not playing. We're talking about Tuchel, not every striker with Chelsea. That would have been every other coach having the same problem. But this is about Thomas Tuchel and Romelu Lukaku. So I thought that was a bit of a sidestep. You said Chelsea strikers didn't score enough goals last season. Well, the man you're castigating was Chelsea's top scorer last season, Romelu Lukaku. He scored 15. And the closing for me was not well constructed. Your closing argument, that could have really caught me. I thought if you'd done well with that, it could have really swayed me. So on the basis of that, a lot more could have been done. I think intro, arguments, and the closing, I thought Benjamin did it for me.
All right, we are just 5 minutes away from our next break, so let's pack it. Thank you very much. So Benjamin, well, he just equals that. Dayo had taken the phone votes for 20%, and now Benjamin has Sam's 20%. So it's even. Who goes next, Alex?
Yeah, Femi, I have to say this. I think Benjamin made it easy for Dayo because starting the argument, starting the debate, I think Benjamin, you would have just done better with your opening. And I think time management is also something that we look after, and you didn't do well when it comes to that, because after the time had gone, you still had things to say. The argument is you talking about Lukaku, and I think you drifted a lot when you were giving your points, and closing wasn't good enough. I think the points, I was hoping for you to bring out points, give me something like stats, the reason why this guy is the problem, and what he has done for Chelsea, because I was hoping for that, but I didn't get that. And I think your tempo wasn't, the voice tempo wasn't good enough. I expected, more. Your composure, I just wanted something. And you sounded, way too low for me. You sounded way too low. And when you had the battle, you gave Dayo everything to come at you. And I didn't, so I think for Dayo, you started well. Your time management was spot on. It was good. And you were on Tuchel, and that's the base of what you're trying to say. You were on Tuchel. You did that spot on. I think this was easy for you because, he made it easy for you. That's what I feel. And I wanted something more. I wanted to hear something more, but I didn't get that. Okay. But for Dyer, I think your composure was good. Your voice was audible enough. I could hear all the things that you were saying. Time management was spot on, and the closing argument was also good. You took it home well, and you stopped in time to give out all the things you wanted to say. So Femi, I'll give Dayo my vote.
So different strokes for different folks on the judges panel. So Dayo, you shoot into the lead again. 40 points to Benjamin's 20. Sarafina, for the panel, it comes down to you now.
Yeah, quite an argument, but I'm just going to pick out what stood out for me. I think both parties did not really do justice to the topic. For the person arguing in favor of Lukaku, I expected you to take me back to his time at Inter Milan. He was able to form a great partnership with Martinez. You did not cite that in your argument. For the player, for the battler who argued in favor of Thomas Tuchel, I expected you to give me that scenario of when Lukaku had to make that interview with Sky Sports at some point, and that was also a turning point in the career, because even when you're having issues, you don't go to the press, you go to your manager and try to sort that out. So I feel like there are a lot of things you guys would have actually put into the argument to make it a little bit robust, you understand. On the scale of tonight's argument, I'm going to give it to what's his name, the person who battled in favor of Thomas Tuchel, Benjamin. Yeah, Benjamin has got my vote.
Benjamin takes your vote, equaling the scores yet again at 40-40. There are just 20 points left on social media. Social media will decide this. We could have our first draw if social media is split both ways. We'll find out about that soon enough. Yay. Do you want to do that for us, Sarafia? I'm looking at the time.
I think we need to go in for that break.
Maybe we should go into that break. And then when we come back, you would hear who took this battle. The phone lines been resolved today. But there are some technical difficulties on Facebook, which is not allowing Facebook votes to register. And if you voted on Facebook, you'll probably notice that you may have voted, but you cannot see the percentages whether you are winning or not. And it's universal for us. By that I mean, even on our back end, the Facebook account from which the voting emanates, we still are unable to see the voting tally. People have been able to vote. We've confirmed that, but there is no tally. Twitter, however, has got a tally. Now, I am left to make a decision. Before we took the break, Benjamin and Dayo were tied at 40 points apiece out of a possible 100. The remaining 20 points were to come from Facebook and Twitter, shared a split both ways, 10% here, 10% there. However, because Facebook has messed up a little bit at this time, I have to decide whether to go ahead with Twitter. Twitter is 10%. Or whether to decide some other way. And the only other way will be me imposing myself on this battle. I'd rather not, if I could help it. And I think I can help it. And for that reason, this tie will be decided by Twitter. Sarafina?
Yeah.
How does Twitter vote?
It's a close one on Twitter. But the thing is, Temidayo has got a slight edge. He's got 56%.
And it's changing.
Yeah, it's actually changing. So I think I would have to refresh again.
One more time.
Yeah, I have to refresh again to be sure. Yeah, Dayo has got a slight advantage with 56% of the vote, while 44% has gone the way of Benjamin.
All right, it's a very peculiar case. This battle has been decided on a total of 90 points because Facebook votes have not been tallied, could not be tallied. However, because this season, so far, and antecedents matter, we've had 9 battles now. Previously, before today, we've had 8. And at no time did Twitter and Facebook not march. At every single time, Facebook and Twitter were in agreement. So I am safely assuming that Twitter and Facebook are in agreement. And even if they weren't, well, it wouldn't matter whether somebody wins by 10 or not. It would matter if Facebook had gone the other way, which would be to Benjamin. But we don't have the luxury of that. And I cannot decide it any other way. I cannot give the remaining 10 to Benjamin. By virtue of that, I'd say congratulations, Dayo. You progress to the round of 24, and you would wait to find out. You may go home right now, and then follow to find out if you top the group or not, to determine who you face in your next battle. Congratulations. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you very much. I take the lessons from Sarafina. I hope I get to use them in my next round, and the lessons from Sam as well. So thank you very much. It was a worthy contest. So nice contesting with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Benjamin, on the other hand, you fell short on this occasion. During the preliminary battles last year, the qualifiers, you had won, but not today. You've tasted defeat for the first time. Lessons are there to be learned. It is not over yet. You know that. It is not over yet. A decision will be made after the second battle of the night to decide whether you will end your battle here tonight or whether the person who loses that second battle will end their battle tonight. How do you feel?
just fun. But one thing is that his voice, I always hear it every morning. So it's a pleasure meeting him. I always hear his voice every morning.
Sam Wine. Great guy.
Sam.
Great guy.
Don't
He
give away
has
for us.
never won any argument in his life, but he's a great guy.
There's one person you mentioned again, Bimbo Awoyele.
Bimbo
I'd
Awoyele.
love to meet him too.
Oh, the
doing
professor
great.
is no longer in Nigeria,
Oh,
unfortunately. Yes, he has gone to professorate, whatever that means. All right.
I'd have to check the dictionary.
Thank you very much. It's not in the dictionary. It's just stupid nonsense that I didn't even have the brains to think about before I said it. Thank you, Benjamin. So I would ask you to wait behind until that decision is made.